Some moments define a person. Others define an entire system. For James Carter, this was both. It was supposed to be a great day. A fresh start. A moment of pride. James had worked his entire life for this position, chief of police. He had spent over 20 years in law enforcement, starting as a young patrol officer, working long nights, making sacrifices, facing discrimination, and pushing through every challenge. He had earned his promotions, not because of favoritism, but because of his dedication, leadership, and ability to connect with the people he served. And now, after years of proving himself, he was stepping into his most important role yet. But before he could even walk into his new office, reality came crashing down. A routine arrival turns hostile. James pulled into the parking lot of the police headquarters, his black Cadillac rolling smoothly into a reserved spot near the front. He took a deep breath, exhaling slowly as he turned off the engine. He glanced at himself in the rearview mirror. His deep brown skin, sharp jawline, and confident eyes stared back at him. He adjusted his tie, navy blue, his favorite color, before stepping out of the car. He was ready. Or so he thought. Just as he closed his car door, the sharp whine of sirens pierced the air. His body tensed as flashing red and blue lights bounced off the nearby windows. A police cruiser sped toward him, stopping just feet away. The tires screeched against the pavement as the car rocked slightly from the sudden stop. Before James could even process what was happening, the driver's side door flew open. A white officer, stocky with a shaved head and a face hardened by years on the job, stepped out aggressively. His right hand rested on the grip of his gun. His badge gleamed under the gray afternoon sky. James recognized that look immediately. Suspicion. Authority. And worst of all, assumption. "Hey! Hands where I can see, the officer barked. James turned, frowning. "Excuse me?" "I said hands up," the officer snapped, stepping closer. James could already tell how this was going to play out. He had seen it too many times before. "Is there a problem, officer?" he asked, keeping his voice measured. "You tell me," the officer shot back. His eyes flickered over James' tailored suit and polished shoes, then back to his face. "What are you doing here?" James clenched his jaw. He could feel the heat rising in his chest, but he kept his expression calm. "I work here," he said. The officer, Murphy, according to his badge, let out a sharp laugh. "You work here," he repeated mockingly. "Dressed like that?" James exhaled, already tired of this. "Yes. And if you let me explain." But Murphy didn't let him finish. Instead, he lunged forward, grabbing James' wrist and twisting his arm behind his back. Pain shot through James' shoulder as Murphy shoved him against his own car. "What the hell?" James snapped, trying to turn his head. "Don't resist," Murphy growled. His grip tightened. "I don't know what you're doing here, but we don't let loiterers hang around police property." James closed his eyes briefly, forcing himself to breathe. He could already feel the stares of bystanders, officers watching from inside the station, civilians passing by, some frozen in shock, others pretending not to see. And then, Murphy leaned in closer. "You people always got an attitude," he muttered. James' body went rigid. "You people." He had heard it before. Too many times. It didn't matter that he was a law enforcement veteran. It didn't matter that he had dedicated his life to justice. It didn't matter that he was more qualified than half the officers inside that building. To Murphy, he was just another black man. Another thug. James clenched his fists. He wanted to say something, but he knew better. He knew how these situations could escalate. And then. "Murphy. What the hell are you doing?" A loud voice cut through the tension. Murphy hesitated for a split second before looking up. A group of officers had rushed out of the station, their faces filled with panic and disbelief. Among them was a black officer named Rodriguez, one of the department's lieutenants. Murphy frowned. What? I caught this guy loitering. He. Rodriguez's face turned pale. Murphy, let him go. That's the new chief of police. The moment everything changed. Silence. Murphy froze, his grip on James loosening instantly. He took a step back as if he had just been hit by a brick. James turned around slowly, his expression unreadable. He adjusted his suit jacket, his eyes locked on Murphy. The other officers stood frozen, wide-eyed. Wait, what? Murphy stammered. His face was draining of color. You're the chief of police, James finished for him. Murphy's lips parted, but no words came out. James could hear the whispers among the officers. The embarrassment. The discomfort. The realization that their new boss had just been assaulted in front of them, by one of their own. James exhaled and took a step closer to Murphy. You saw a black man and assumed the worst, he said, his voice quiet but firm. You didn't ask questions. You didn't even hesitate before using force. Murphy opened his mouth. Chief, I didn't know. James shook his head. That's the problem, he said. You didn't know, and you didn't care. You acted first. You let your bias make the decision for you. Murphy swallowed hard. His hands fidgeted at his sides. He looked around, searching for support, but none of the officers stepped in. James turned to the rest of the department. If this is how one of your own treats me, in broad daylight, right in front of this building, then how do you treat the people you're supposed to protect? A few officers dropped their gazes. Others shifted uncomfortably. James let his words settle for a moment. Then, with quiet authority, he said, This department will not tolerate racism. Not under my leadership. If you cannot uphold that standard, you have no place here. His words were final. James turned and walked into the building, his head held high. The doors shut behind him with a decisive thud. Murphy stood there, frozen, humiliated, fully aware that his days in the department were numbered. Because under Chief James Carter, the old way of policing was officially over. And change had just begun. Hello, amazing viewer. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more awesome content, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Let me know what you think. And if you found this video helpful or entertaining, please share it with your friends and family. Your support means the world to me and helps this channel grow. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.